You're live.
All right, and welcome back to the Budcast, everybody. Of course, I'm Nate, and I have all of our wonderful hosts here with us today. We've got across the couch, Hannah and Daniel Rome. Of course, next to me, we have Tanaki. Behind the desk, we have the beautiful Michelle, of course. And then we have Cynthia Saarie on from New York, who's going to clue us into all kinds of wonderful things that she has going on out there in the cannabis world right after we're back. But make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share, and follow.
Yeah. Roll it up, line it up, listen up now. It's the 406 Buck, it's gonna show you how. Cannabis culture, grow big, strong. Hear the latest trends, you can't go wrong. Tune in today, yeah, knowledge on blast. #1 podcast, it's the 406 Budcast. From strength to gains, they break it all down. Passion and hustle, wear the green crown. Industry insights right in your ears. Growing green dreams, no need for fears. Tune in today, yeah, knowledge on blast. #1 podcast, it's the 406 Budcast. Yeah. Cannabis culture, grow big, strong. Hear the latest trends, you can't go wrong. Tune in today, yeah, knowledge on blast. #1 podcast, it's the 406 Budcast. From strains to gains, we break it all down. Passion and hustle, wear the green crown. Industry insights right in your ears. Growing green dreams, no need for fears. Tune in today, yeah, knowledge on blast. #1 podcast, it's the 406 Budcast.
All right, we're back.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So, yeah, we're having a bit of an issue streaming out to Facebook right now. We're getting a notification through StreamYards that it's on Facebook's end. We're working on it diligently, but you can still check us out, YouTube, all of the other great places. Like I said before we went to that quick introduction, we're going to be joined today all the way from New York with all the way from New York with Cynthia Saarie. She is involved pretty heavy in SEO copywriting and specializes in all kinds of wonderful fields that relate around cannabis and quite a few things. So I'll allow her to go ahead and give a quick introduction. Cynthia, thanks for joining us.
How's it going? I'm north of New York City. A lot of people, when they think of New York, they think of New York City, but I'm up just north of Syracuse, halfway between Syracuse and Lake Ontario. So if you're in the lake area, jump in. I mean, it's cold, but actually we're about 7 miles from where they got the most snow since January, 243 inches in Palermo, which is just north of where I live now, and it's pretty damn cold. I'm ready for spring. I started in the cannabis industry a long time ago, and went to work for the Postal Service and couldn't do anything with this cannabis industry for 30 years. But when I retired, I was just getting ready to jump back in when they finally legalized it here in New York State, and said, hey, I've been a copywriter now for 8 years. I'm going to start working with these new dispensaries that are just starting and find out more about that area of copywriting and web design, and started with them. And it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I went around to different towns and counties to produce legislation, because they all had to decide if they were going to allow to have cannabis dispensaries or medical dispensaries in their area, and they had to vote yes for it, or else they weren't going to get any of the tax benefits from the cannabis industry. Yeah, and I looked up Montana. It's pretty cool that you guys have done almost $1 billion in revenue, and we have $1 billion for the first year that they were busy here in New York. But I think Illinois has got the winning bid with $2 billion, so they're doing really well.
Yeah, Illinois is definitely knocking it out the park. I think there's a couple other states that are starting to come pretty close to them as well for their opening bell. But, you were talking about just recently your cannabis journey there, and how you sort of got involved from the Postal Service. I also recall a pretty good story about some Molson beer.
Ah, yes. You saw that. When I was I was not a good girl. I worked with a man that wanted to go up into Canada to get the Molson's Brador beer because it was 6.2 alcohol, and they didn't have that available in the U.S.
Okay.
And I had a van that would go up there and would hold 37 cases of Molson's Brador beer. And I would pay for the duty for bringing the beer across the border. I had all the paperwork and everything, but I also had a contact up there that would get me 2 kilos of Colombian Gold that I would stash in between all those wonderful bottles of Molson's. And I found that when I went with my boyfriend, we'd always get stopped. But when I went by myself, they were very nice to me, and they were very kind, and they'd see this sweet little girl who was just buying beer to bring across to the U.S., and I had all the paperwork, and they thought that was terrific. So they would always just, wave me on through. And one day, there was a different Border Patrol man there, and he wanted me to pull over. He was going to search my vehicle. And I started freaking out, like, oh, no, what am I going to do? I don't want to spend the rest of my life in a Canadian jail. And he started with the front seat of my car and was reaching down. I had a nice little bucket seats. And he reached down in between the seat back and the bench of the chair and pulled out 3 seeds. And he looked at them in his hand, and then he looked at my eyes. And I just looked at him like, I don't know what you got, but that's pretty cool. And he'd look back down at the seeds again, and he'd look back up at me. And I was like, so what are you going to do with this? I have no idea what you're looking at. So I'm just sitting there smiling at him. And he throws the seeds down in the bottom of the floor of the car and says, okay, go on. And I went across the border, and I went about a mile down the road, and I stopped and I threw up. I was so upset. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. And it was shortly after that I went to work for the Postal Service, and I couldn't do that anymore. So I said that was the end of my my bad girl. And I was very glad that it was over, and I didn't spend my life in a jail up there. And not that I have anything against Canada. They make some great beer.
Yeah.
But I really didn't want to spend time in jail.
Not enough to go to jail for that kind of beer.
No.
Nor the gold, right?
No. But it was very lucrative. I mean, I could sell a bottle of Brador beer and a joint for $10. Well, back in 1977, that was a lot of money. Yeah. And I was really lucrative in cash, but no, I didn't want to do that anymore.
Yep. No, that definitely makes sense. So what made you, get out of the Postal Service and sort of switch to what you do now? I
retired. I did 30 years. I served my time.
Nice.
And I have my pension, and I'm very glad that it's over with. It's a great career for someone to be able to, go in and get their pension and retire. It afforded me a house and new cars, vacations, put our kid through college. I mean, I can't say anything bad about that, except for the fact that they promote some of these really bad people into managerial positions, which is really sad. But, that's how it is with every business. You always have the ones that are the good ones and the bad ones. And I spent my whole life in the same office, which was kind of nice, in the same community that I lived in the same community that my husband grew up in. So I say to anybody who meets me, if you are running into somebody whose last name is Saarie, I'm related to them somehow. It's a nice community, but it's a small community. And it's nice to be able to work and live in the same community. It's very, I don't know, humbling. They keep you in line.
Yeah, definitely. So, sorry here. I'm trying to read notes and talk to you at the same time.
It's okay.
So what are some of the, client success stories that you can share with us as far as your new business venture, and give us a quick gist on, what exactly you do to help with SEO and copywriting and the other things that we've discussed?
Well, it's mostly digital media that I'm working with, website design, website production, refurbishing websites that are already in existence or putting them together from scratch.
Okay.
It's nice to be able to work with the cannabis community because by and large, most of the people who are in this community are really nice and very kind. And I mean, everybody has their bad eggs, but for the most part, most of the people that I have met have been so genuine that it's a pleasure to work with them. And you can tell right away whether or not they're going to be, great to work with or not. If you run into somebody that's not nice, you can always pass. And that's good too. I know on my first call with a client, whether or not it's going to be a good fit. And for the most part, most of the people that I have met have been really terrific to be around, to spend time with, and to spend time online or on the phone or, like this in a meeting like this online. It's great.
Most
And
definitely.
you guys are pretty nice too.
Oh, well, thank you. We feel the same about you for sure. I know my wife has gotten fond to get to know you, quite a bit. And we're glad to get to know you as well. And glad you joined us here in Montana on our podcast for sure.
Well, I told Michelle about Holly, who's going to be there next week. She's one of my writing co-writers and teammates. And she does this Seagull Lily tallow butter that
Nice.
I love. And I had a mom, she passed away last year, but when she was in the nursing home, her feet and hands were so dry and cracked. And I was talking to Holly and she says, well, you should get some of the tallow butter that I make. And I did. And within 2 weeks, the cracked heels were gone. And after my mom passed, I came across the jar that I had gotten, to use on her there, and brought it home and started using it on myself and said, wow, this is terrific. So I ordered some more just recently from Holly and said, I got to have this because it works so well. And so you'll hear all about that next week. She's terrific. But she also is a writer and digital marketer. And she's got a nice business going, and it's right there in Montana. So you should get to know her.
Absolutely. We look forward to getting to talk to her. Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Hannah just slipped in and she gave me
some technical difficulties. Sorry, having some fun behind the scenes.
Gave me a great look over there. That's the fun of about a live show, right? You never know what you're going to get. So,
that's one nice thing about videos is you can edit.
Yeah, that's a fact. And today with all the tools that are available, I mean, it makes editing a lot easier than sitting there and going through reel after reel and clip.
Mm-hmm. But I do 2 videos a week and put them out every week. And it's just little educational tidbits for different people who are looking for information on putting together a successful website, what they need to do, what they shouldn't do. And it helps people not screw it up when they're trying to put it together. A lot of people will put together a website and then come looking for help. And I do ebooks and I do the videos simply to try and be of assistance to people. It's not because I'm looking to get more clients, because we're always looking to get new clients.
Certainly.
But it's to help people and to show that I'm genuinely concerned and want to be, a good sport about it. I want people to succeed, just like I want to, succeed too. That's why I wanted to come on here, and Michelle was so nice. Thank you.
So you said you do ebooks. What kind of ebooks do you do?
Oh, I got a program, about 8 to 10 years ago that helps me put together an ebook pretty quick. I can have an ebook done in less than an hour. And
do you do the voices for it, or? Well,
an ebook is just in print, but I started out with voiceover work. I have sung all my life. And one of the people who I was singing with one day said, well, you should try out to be a voiceover artist because you've got really good diction. And that's one of the things that is really necessary if you're singing. People have to understand what it is you're saying. And So I started getting some work from different commercials. It was like a cattle call for different people to come and audition for different commercials. And the ones that sent me their work, their work was really bad. And I would get paid for it and I would record it. But then at the end of it, I would rewrite what it was that they were trying to advertise and record that. And I found out that they were using my copy instead of the one that they had sent to me, that they had a media department that was writing for them. And I thought, hey, I'm doing something wrong here. I could be doing this.
It's time to get paid.
So I started, working with that, and I've continued because I've got 3 certifications. I'm a certified, I'm a certified substitute pastor. And so I take care of a church. I'm also,
That's awesome.
I can't think now. It's terrible. It's late. I'm sorry. I'm also a certified bone builder instructor. I teach a senior citizen class on osteo bone building using weights. And my oldest student is 92, and she uses 6-pound weights in her hand and 8-pound weights on her feet. So, that's pretty nice. And I'm also a certified web designer, and I have a New York State band of approval. I joined with New York State, and I was recognized as the first and only woman-owned cannabis digital marketing developer in New York State. And I thought, well, that's kind of cool. But I'm also an award-winning author too. So I just
had an accomplished list.
Education is never lost. You might study something and then choose not to use it, but it's something that you can use elsewhere, and that's nice.
Definitely. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with all that, and I'm just absolutely astonished by that long list of accolades you got there, and kudos and congratulations to you.
Well, I'm probably older than all you guys, so it's been coming over a long period of time.
Good hard work's gotten where she is. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
I know, Cynthia, I was really curious, at least for the advertising side, or at least guideline wise, we are really strict here in Montana on even not really even being able to advertise. I guess, Is there any struggles that you've really had to push through for helping web design, or what you guys aren't able to throw out there? Or
well, the advertising part is really strict on the platform you're using. Like if you're advertising on Facebook or LinkedIn or any of the social media venues, you can only do so much, and that's nationwide. Anywhere that you are doing anything. In fact, because it's not federally regulated, they're very strict, especially like on Facebook. You can't say certain things, you can't do certain things, and that's one of the reasons why I promote doing it on your website, because your website is your domain. You can do what you want. You can say what you want. You can swear up a storm. You can say anything basically that you want to say on your own website, and they can't do anything about it. And that's why a lot of the people gravitate towards having a website in the cannabis industry, because they have found that if they want to post a video, or if they want to say something that might not be accepted on social media platforms, it can be and will be accepted on your own domain website, which makes a big difference.
I guess I can't remember how we are on that in the state of Montana with that. I know.
So as long as it's age gated, it's sort of crazy in the Montana rules, and we've ran into this before with the Cannabis Control Division, in the fact that if you got a regular web page and it's age gated with the appropriate click through 21 age gate, they say that's perfectly fine and good. But if we try to go to Facebook and we try to just mention anything about our cannabis products, even if it's just like, hey, we have carts in the store, what they claim and say is that that's actually public, despite the fact that the Facebook page is set to 21 and up. And it doesn't even allow anybody who has a Facebook profile under the age of 21 to even search or access that page, which the FTC has really considered and has said that that is a much safer way of doing it than Montana, but Montana still won't accept that. So we've gone back and forth. Maybe we'll still battle that out a little bit more with them, but yeah. So it's always the funs and joys of trying to get the message out there.
The lovely state. Yeah, sorry, I can never remember the specifics of what silliness they always try to go after. So
yeah, some of the stuff, it just seems like they came up with a rule arbitrarily that you cannot make any anecdotal statements about cannabis. And it's just like, I mean, there's nothing really within the law that relates to anecdotal statements, nor was there anything within the rules that specifically stated that. And so they're trying to say that we can't make any anecdotal statements towards medical, but yet there's still medical dispensaries and we're still able to sell medical products. So a lot of their rules are contrary.
Yeah.
It's a motion in, in practice. There's, like you said, there's certain things that you can't do, but there's also things and ways that you can put things in, even if it's just for a moment, like on a video, if you had something that just kind of went by, that would work.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Play in the gray area.
Or back in the stories or something a little bit.
Unfortunately, you have to play with the rules, and until things change and eventually get federally accepted, you're still fighting with a stigma for over 85 years. Big pharma and the government have had it out for the cannabis industry, even though it's been used by civilizations for millennia all over the world. And I think it grows in just about every continent that there is, except for maybe Antarctica. I don't know. But
yeah, I think we could probably get some indoor cultivation.
There you go.
In Antarctica, and I'm ready to rock. So.
But because of that, they don't want to give up their piece of the rock. And I can understand that to a point. But there comes a time when you have to say, all right, everybody is, their opinions are changing, the stigmas have changed, and it's got to change. And I think that the more people speak out about it and the more that people rally around, conferences and anything that's out in public to show that you want to see this change happen, it will. I still have been going round and round with our governor and with our New York State Fair director. I have contacted them for several years now saying, you're treating the cannabis industry like they're lepers.
Yeah, definitely.
They said, well, we don't want it available for 21-year-old, for those under 21. And I said, well, then you have to kick all of the beer tents and the wine slushies and everybody else off the premises as well, because they're all right there for everybody to see and go past in the food courts and on the, the food row. What's fair is fair. And they said, well, we're being fair. We're letting you have 4 different areas outside of the 75-acre state fairgrounds to partake in cannabis. Well, they had a grandstand with a racetrack that they tore down a couple of years back, and it opened up a huge area out in back of the state fair. And I said, well, why don't you segregate everybody over there? All of the beer, all of the wine, all of the cigarette smoking, all of the cannabis partakers.
Sure.
And that would be fair to everybody. Well, they said no, they didn't want to do that. Well, this year, this past summer, they had NECAN at the state fairgrounds for the first time. And the state fair director wasn't there. I was going to offer to sing the national anthem, because I sing the national anthem for all of the veterans ceremonies and civic organizations and all the community events and stuff around. And I have for like over 30 years. But when I went to the desk there and I said, well, was Julie Lefebvre? She's the state fair director. And they said, well, she told us that she wasn't coming in. And I said, will she be here tomorrow? And because it was a 2-day event. And she said, no, she said that she was not going to partake in this at all. And I said, well, that's kind of lousy to think that this is the first time that it's been held at her state fair and she doesn't even want to show up and be a part of it. I was kind of mortified and disappointed at the same time that she would ban her own, fortune to have something like that happen. Well, guess what? It's scheduled for this year, but it's not scheduled for the New York State Fairgrounds. It's scheduled, I believe, in Albany or in New York City. But it's sad that they lost a big opportunity to have it because the state fair is centrally located in New York State. And it was easy for people to get to from all parts of the state. And it won't be there again.
Well, and I can only imagine how much tourism that brings from other states and from Canada down, and if they understood that it was cannabis friendly, there's probably going to be a pretty big draw from that crowd as well, from all of those surrounding areas.
They had a good crowd, but they won't ever see that again unless they change their mind and let it come back there. But NECAN was so disappointed with the way that they were treated that they decided not to come back.
That's just sad.
Yeah.
I feel like, what's that? Yeah. Oh, Cynthia, we did make a video for you. If Michelle's got that all lined up. Got a couple of minutes here, you guys, but I think about 3 minutes. But
for everybody out there needing a smoke break, now's the time.
You've got the passion, you've got the dream. Starting small, but you're planting seeds. You need a website, you need a plan. Cynthia's here to lend a hand. From logo lights to copy bright, she'll build your brand up just right. Say yo in words that flow, she'll help your biz begin to grow. Grow with Cynthia step by step. She's got the know-how, no regrets. Your dream is big, your start is small, but she'll help you stand up tall. Woo! It's a jungle out there, but don't you fear. With the right words, your voice is clear. Storefront strong, a website sleek. She'll help you stand up tall. From logo lights to copy bright, she'll build your brand up just right. Say oh in words that flow, she'll help your biz begin to grow. Grow with Cynthia step by step. She's got the know-how, no regrets. Your dream is big, your start is small, but she'll help you stand up tall. Brick by brick, page by page, she'll help you ride the next great stage. No more stress, no more doubt. Cynthia's here to help you sprout. So if you're starting, don't you wait. With Cynthia's help, you'll cultivate. From words to websites, smooth and free. She's got the skills to set you free. Grow with Cynthia step by step. She's got the know-how, no regrets. Your dream is big, your start is small, but she'll help you stand up tall. Brick by brick, page by page, she'll help you write the next great stage. No more stress, no more doubt. Cynthia's here to help you sprout. So if you're starting, don't you wait. With Cynthia's help, you'll cultivate. From words to websites, smooth and free. She's got the skills to set you free. help you'll cultivate. From words to websites, smooth and free, she's got the skills to set you free.
I was expecting something like from Saturday Night Live. That
Oh, that'd be fun.
was such a nice treat. Who did the singing? Or is this some wonderful AI?
Well, it's a little bit of both. So yeah,
We put it all together as a team, and
Terrific.
yeah, we
I'm
got the
very
lyrics.
impressed. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And welcome back. Sorry, I haven't gone for most of the night. I am back. Hey, welcome. Hi, how's
Fun
it going?
detour.
Yeah, sorry about that. I guess sorry, I'm a little lost here.
we just had a little bit of issues with Facebook. For
Yes.
some reason, it's not connecting our StreamYards, but we are live on Twitch. We're out there on YouTube. We've got quite some people out there in the comments. Lynn Hunt, Nobody, few others that are regulars. They were able to join us tonight. We greatly appreciate all them. And as always, we're here in speaking with Cynthia Saarie from, Best Copy Now Agency.
That's me.
I guess, what are your websites? Where can people find you? Where can they reach out for your services?
Bestcopynow.com.
Bestcopynow.com. Does that have links to your videos? I know you said you do about 2 videos a week. Do you post those out there?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
And that's all that they are. They're just educational to try and help people out who are building websites to make sure that they don't make some of the mistakes that most of us make when we're first starting out. And it's just a service that I provide. And when people call me and ask me questions, I'm happy to help them out, because that's just how I operate. I think that it's a community of caring, and the more that we try and be a part of the community, the better.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. We need more people like you out there. Oh gosh.
Well, and we look forward as well to visiting with your friend next week and hearing all about her.
Holly is great. You'll love Holly.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to try to do in studio.
Ooh.
In studio?
Yeah.
Oh, she's from Pompey
right.
Village.
She's in Montana. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. So it's actually right down the block from us. If she's located in Pompey's
Down
Pillar.
Pompey's, yeah.
No block, but like when he says block, he's talking like it's an hour one way.
All right.
We're talking the Montana block.
Yeah, that's in the block.
If I was an hour from you, I'd still come.
Definitely.
Oh,
Well,
gosh.
we would love to have you, and maybe when you get some time to visit Montana, we'll get you back back on and in the studio.
Heck yeah.
Well, that would be wonderful. And I've always wanted to visit. It's a beautiful state from everything I've ever seen.
We have some amazing state parks. I mean,
Oh yeah.
just saying, Red Lodge, and then right over the hill, you're right into Yellowstone. Take that all the way up, take it all the way into
Beartooth Pass.
Red Two Paths, and then
Mhm.
head all the way back through, and then hit Glacier on your way back down, and come through Great Falls and swing on around.
That sounds
Great.
wonderful. When my mother and father both retired, they took a cross-country trip. And one of the states that they stayed a lot of time in was Montana, and brought back a lot of pictures from there. They
There's
got to
just
see all those wonderful parks.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how big our state is, and sort of to put it in perspective here, to go from where we live in Billings, Montana, roughly to Missoula, that's sort of the equivalent of driving from New York City to Washington, D.C. And then it's actually closer from the southern border of Montana to Texas than it is from corner to corner in Montana. So that's actually how big our state is.
Hence the name Big Sky Country.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Big Rockies over on the west side and flat
You get-
plains over on
I
the
was gonna
east.
say you get a
Yeah.
huge variance of
Even in the
environment.
Badlands over by Mile City in that area, so I mean,
Yeah.
ripped up.
Oh.
So back here on the screen, what a lot of people can't see are some videos that we have of Montana that's been shot throughout the area. But we'll try to get those playing on our website. That's Missoula, Montana. Got Mount Jumbo in the
Dang.
background.
Mount Jumbo?
Yeah,
What
there's
a
just so many
beautiful
different,
place.
so
Sleeping
much
Giant.
different scenery to see in Montana.
Absolutely. Well, we've enjoyed our time with Cynthia.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes.
If you want to stick around with us and play, please
Oh,
do. If you need to get going, we definitely understand and we appreciate all of your time, but we want to get rolling through a couple of these segments and
I'll just stay here in the background and listen.
awesome.
Thank you.
Shoot it over to Naki.
Thank you.
Are we ready? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Smoking like a rasta, feeling so high. We talk about cannabis and getting fly. Are you smarter than a stoner? Let's find out. Listen up,
B, the
my
plant's
friends.
flavor
I
and
got
aroma
something to
compounds.
shout. Cannabis
C, the plant's
knowledge,
fibers.
let it flow through your mind. Getting blazed, smoking loud, we all unwind. Trivia questions, can you keep up the pace? Let's see if you're sharper in this smoky haze.
Alrighty. And welcome back, folks, to another round of Are You Smarter Than a Stoner?
Not me, not today.
Do we have those questions up, Michelle? You're good.
Hey,
This coffee is really kicking.
I know, I'm all kinds of
kicking
fired
in,
up.
guys.
Hell yeah.
It may or may not be infused.
got some turbo.
Find my mic here. Number 1. What is the primary genetic markers that distinguish sour diesel from other sativa dominant strains?
I'm going to have to say diesel.
A unique limonene and caryophyllene balance contributing to its fuel-like smell. B, high levels of the terpene humulene, giving it a woody aroma. C, low THC content but enhanced CBD production. Or D, exclusively indoor growth capability due to its fragile genetics.
Oh, man.
This is as good as a guess for me, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm going to throw that back into the PhD pile.
Yeah. I'm going to guess A with Michelle as well.
Anybody out in the chat?
Do we got anybody in the chat wanting to throw it out there?
Miss
I
Cynthia,
know-
do you have a guess?
Unfortunately, most of our live chat interaction
Cynthia's
usually
A
comes
as
from
well.
Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, usually most of our live chat interaction comes from Facebook, so we're going to have to rely on you guys, post audience. What do you think today?
Post audience. All right.
The correct answer for number 1 is going to be A.
I'm not gonna lie, I was half expecting you to be like, C.
At least it wasn't B.
Number 2. Why are haze strains known for their longer flowering times compared to other hybrids?
Because they get you stoned.
A, they originate from equatorial sativas, which have longer natural growing cycles. B, they require additional nitrogen intake, slowing down flower development. C, their cannabinoid synthesis process takes longer to reach maturity. Or D, they are naturally resistant to early flowering triggers in indoor environments.
What are you doing?
Making
So,
hard questions.
She's making
Off
us smart
genetic
stoners.
specific and plant specific traits.
This is just going to be also a guess, but it's based on, some deductive reasoning.
Right. See, I think you're going to relate to this. I have this problem with test questions, and maybe someone in our audience will relate to, but I'm really good at guessing the right answer. But the problem that comes with that is I never retain any of the information. It's just dump it immediately.
Super dumb.
Yeah.
Check. Next.
Oh boy. Longer flowering times.
Part of me really wants to say B, but Nate is smart, so I mean,
Hey, no. Don't throw that. Don't put that juju on me, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
okay, I'll
You
say
end
B.
up both wrong.
I'll say B. Ricky.
I got
I
C.
guess I'll guess A. I'll guess A.
I got the A.
Cynthia, do you have a guess on this one?
I
at
got
all?
a C.
Okay.
The correct answer is A.
Dang. Yeah. Those equatorial sativas, they don't know how to live without the sun.
Yeah, I was just thinking equator sativa,
Mhm.
dude. Definitely got to be that.
Yeah. Tanaki's keeping me
Well,
straight.
you know, I would
I would
think,
think it would be just the opposite.
yeah, it could happen. I was thinking that exact same thing, Cynthia. Imagine during half of the year in Alaska when the sun's out 24 hours a day.
Or, you know, just the opposite, like when they get that pure darkness going on for a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
you only get like 1 or 2 hours of sunlight.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
where autos developed. I'd have to do some research into that.
Be a great place for light depth.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3. What is a common trait of many Kush-derived strains, such as Bubba Kush and OG Kush? A. High levels of limonene for an energizing effect. B. A strong earthy and pine aromas due to caryophyllene and myrcene content. C. Naturally high CBD levels compared to sativa-dominant hybrids. Or D. Short flowering times under 40 days.
Woohoo. Man,
That would be very
that would be awesome.
I've got a couple of plants in my tent right now at 50 days. And that's all. That feels a little early. It's like 7 weeks, start of week 8, I suppose. They look done. And I'm like, I can't chop these yet.
How's the trikes looking though?
They look done. That's what I'm looking at. That's
Yeah,
what looks
great.
done to me is
Yeah.
the trikes.
man. I might,
Just chop it. I guess.
or
gotta
you know,
listen.
take a little bit and then you know.
Oh, I
don't
like
have to
my
chop the
happening
whole
fast.
phase.
Oh my goodness.
I can't even
I don't think
imagine that.
thought crossed any of our minds.
Yeah, no, it didn't. That's
I like my
hilarious.
heavy metals though. They're
Yeah.
not heavy metal enough.
Right. Been playing Pantera.
Hmm.
B.
Yeah, B's my answer.
Bop, bop, bop,
also.
bop, B.
Strong
B.
earthy, all that poop.
B. B.
Okay.
B.
B. Yeah, B.
B. B is the correct
Yep.
answer.
I was thinking about going with D just for fun, but no, it was B.
I just remember the Kush from our very first week.
Yep.
The oaky flavor.
Yeah.
Mhm. AKA dog poop.
Dog.
Dog.
poop. That's really stuck.
Number 4. What makes this strain, Pineapple Express, unique compared to other fruit?
It's got its own movie.
Compared to other fruit flavored hybrids, not flute. A. It is a pure landrace sativa with tropical genetics. B. It was genetically engineered for fast flowering cycles under 6 weeks. C. It has one of the lowest THC percentages among hybrid strains. Or D. It contains high levels of ocimene, thank you, and terpenoline, enhancing its fruity aroma.
Mm.
Got some terps in there.
Mm. I love Pineapple Express. It does smell and taste like pineapples. The pineapple strains in general do.
This is kind of
Yeah, it's a-
hard one. I
it-
don't know.
Pretty difficult question.
I'm going with D.
I'm only going with
Michelle's got D.
D also as a guess.
All right.
I'm going with D.
B.
We got
Standard test.
3 Ds and a B.
You're going with A.
I'm going to go with A.
The correct answer is D.
Whoa!
Way to go, guys.
A was my secondary guess there too, Nate. I totally saw your logic on that. I was like, yeah, it is from the tropics.
I just didn't know if it was a landrace strain or not. And I was like, you know what? I don't know anything else. Might as well throw it out there.
Yeah.
I was fishing.
Yeah. Hey, that was a
You
good.
guys said it was a hard one this week. These were hard questions, but you guys pretty much aced all of them.
I think we all like this at least one. At least I did.
Yeah, I think all of y'all, almost
think-
all y'all missed one.
I think
But-
I'm our dumbest stoner.
I
It's
disagree because I think
Definitely
we're
disagree.
just really damn good at guessing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Guessing ace. I didn't know a single one of those answers. Not even close.
I am a terrible test taker, and it is proven week and week.
I swear I've mixed up how I do my answering, but or like my selection for which one's the correct answer, but
Yeah, it wasn't all B this week, which was a nice change of pace.
There was one week she spelled out dab.
D-A-B.
there was a while I was spelling out random shit with the answers.
That's smart. I like
But you only have so many letters, so
Yeah.
it kind of gets boring quick. And I don't want you to catch on.
Yeah.
You can add questions.
Abacadabra, abacadabra.
yeah, exactly.
That's how I got through high school.
Yeah. Abacadabra. Man, I noticed there was a. Oh, I'm doing that thing. I'm blow out everyone's eardrum. Anyway, I noticed that a lot of those were about strains this week.
Yeah, so I've decided to kind of focus in on some like strain specific questions and genetic and terpene specific questions.
Cool.
So we'll probably see a little bit of that for the next couple weeks.
Well, that's
Hell
exciting.
yeah. I think that's perfect segue over to what? Strain of the week.
Strain of the week.
Strain of the week.
It might be a little bit of a short one this week,
Oh.
guys, but we do have a video for you, so we will be right back after this.
Smoking
No one else
something.
pew pew pew. Pew 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 pew. Thank you. The one
Drifting through the colors, feel the neon in the sky. Flavors of the future, take me up, let's fly. Drifting through the colors, feel the neon in the sky. Flavors of the future, take me up, let's fly. Drifting through the colors, feel the night blind, taste the glow, let it rush in slow. Laser fruit high, let the energy flow. Drip drop sweet with a technicolor shine. Every inhale, ultralight divine. Light speed love in a citrus dream. Base so bright, cutting through the steam. Feel the charge, let it all ignite. Take a hit, let's touch the sky. Live live for love in a citrus dream. Base so bright, cutting through the steam. Feel the charge, let it all ignite. Take a hit, let's touch the sky. Azure fruit. 3, 2, work. We're flying high, ultraviolet ride. Zap, zap, let the lasers collide. Skyline dripping in an LED glow. Laser fruit magic, take it nice and slow. Sipping on the light, yeah, taste the vibe. One more drop, take a trip inside. Take me higher, don't let go. Neon waves set me aglow. Skyline dripping in an LED glow. Laser fruit magic, take it nice and slow. Sipping on the light, yeah, taste the vibe. One more drop, take a trip inside. Take me higher, don't let go. Neon waves set me aglow. Glowing through the night, faded into light.
There we
shit.
go.
Oh, they caught me. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, our videos have gotten quite large, so the way we have to display them has changed a little bit. We're getting
Yeah.
used to the new process. Sorry about that.
In addition, I think we just went through a StreamYards update
Yeah, it
because
looks a
our
lot
entire
different.
interface just totally changed like midstream.
Midstream. It's been such a hot day. Sorry, guys.
Still having a
So-
good time though.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
we actually had a viewer request laser fruit.
It's a local strain. We weren't really able to find a ton of information online. So I'm going to have to suppose a little bit and guess a little bit about the genetics. We did reach out to the people in town locally who have it, and they wanted to get with us and send us some information, but just kind of ran out of time. You know how it
Yeah.
goes. So
Go
ahead.
All the information that I could find out about it was it's a Dancing Goat Gardens rosin, essentially. You can find it at Holistic Relief in Laurel, or who was the other place? It's a place out in Bozeman. I have it somewhere.
I thought it was Granite Peak.
Lone Peak.
Lone Peak.
Lone Peak. Okay.
Up in Bozeman. They've got it up there as well. But I couldn't find any information on it. I did reach out to Dancing Goat Gardens to get like the COA or something. Again, they were really excited to send that around, just didn't make it on time. But they had a laser
I'm not sure, but I was
laser
thinking,
tide or something like that.
you know
Another
what
one.
else is really hard to find information on is our rotten fruit. And
Yeah.
I was wondering if it came from the same local guy who makes. Is rotten fruit a local strain, or is that?
No, it came from Mad Wolf Genetics, and I believe they're from out of state. But it does make sense. There is a lot of geneticists that are running around here in Montana that got a lot of good strains out there. So it may be something fairly local, hasn't hit the Leafly or the Weed Maps or anything else like that. One of the things that we do, as everybody knows that tunes in, just let Cynthia know, is we have a poll on our website every week, and we throw out a few strains, allow all of our viewers to go out there and select what their favorite strain for that week is, and then we try to compile the information together and give them a pretty good breakdown of what the terpenes are, what they're looking at as far as experience profiles, what the THC profiles, and sort of flavor and everything else like that. So unfortunately, this strain right here was one of those strains that's pretty darn brand new, and nobody
Hard
knows
to
a
get
whole
some
lot about it.
information.
We
Yeah,
would love to know about it. If anyone out there watching, listening, anything knows anything about laser fruit, we'd like to know.
Yeah,
I'm
it was,
so curious.
it was requested by Joshua Thomas on our Facebook page. So if you guys have any other requests for, even if it's just something you want to see a silly video of us or that we make, please let us know, and we'd be happy to do that for you. So
Absolutely. We're all in. Polls, request strains, send us pictures. We love pictures of plants. I do anyway.
And I guess we got to give some props out there to Josh for stumping us for this week, and we're going to get you that information. And we appreciate you sharing that strain with us, Josh.
yeah, I'm sure you'll see this clip. If you do, let us know in the comments. What about it is so special for you? What makes it your favorite strain, Josh? Because you requested that we cover it. All right.
Well,
You got
I'll
some-
So
leave
should
it.
we do news since we don't have a strain to cover?
Yeah, I
We
mean
got
that's
some
all we got on the
news to talk
screen.
about.
So
we've got a lot to cover on the news, so it can definitely take place of what's going on in there in the news. For a quick smoke break, I guess we'll bop over to that intro video.
all right.
Smoke them if you got them.
This update's fresh and real. Tune in with Nate, it's the big deal. Cannabis news with Nate, let's go. Every story makes you glow. Stay informed, don't be late. Cannabis news with Nate.
Yep, you heard it there. It's News with Nate, and I'm Nate. So we're going to bust through it real quick. We starting off right here in the good old state of Montana, right here at home. And then we'll cover some of the news that's going on in the nation, maybe some news over there in New York, and then also bust out globally. But we've been discussing quite a bit the legislative session that's been going on here in the state of Montana. Obviously, 90 days every 2 years. Our founding fathers of the state really wanted a limited form of government, keep government from meddling. But unfortunately, it didn't quite play out in the modern age. And we've got all kinds of meddling going on in the cannabis world, but we've had a lot of good victories as well. So over the past couple of weeks, we've managed to kill Senate Bill 255. That was the one that wanted to come out and give us a $200 identification card to purchase recreational cannabis, which would have basically killed our tourist industry. We were able to also get tabled Senate Bill 443 from Greg Hertz. That was the one that was limiting THC to 15%. Got tabled in committee. They tried to do a blast motion to pull it out of committee and bring it to the floor real quick, and they failed in that motion. It's looking like a lot of these bills are actually going to be dead because most of them, they had a transmittal deadline of today. And so if they haven't hit that transmittal deadline, haven't got through committee, haven't gone through the floor vote and get transmitted to the other house, then they're more or less dead for the session. So, you know, we've had a lot of good wins and everything else like that. There are a couple of bills out there that we still need to pay attention to. And the one that I'm going to bring to everybody's attention is House Bill 636. This is sponsored by Jody Eckhart is her name. And it's also co-sponsored by Greg Hertz, Essman, all of the same usual suspects. And what they did is, this was pretty sneaky in this bill, is they actually they're trying to limit edibles to only 100 milligrams, and they changed the wording to say per package. And then they say that all of the serving sizes cannot be over 5 milligrams, which currently the serving size is 10 milligrams. So there they go again with that sneaky, you know, underhanded crap. So everybody needs to think about House Bill 636, get out there with their legislators and let them know that we need to really stop this kind of nonsensical backwood thinking and this underhanded prohibitionist tactics of constantly chiseling at our rights when it comes to cannabis. The other two that are pretty interesting here is going to be House Bill 688 and House Bill 698. These are both being sponsored by Bill Mercer. And at first, when you look at them, you're like, these are pretty benign bills. They seem to really don't do much. They seem to add some ballot language to sort of clarify when we're bringing stuff to ballot and everything else like that, how you vote on it, how it's supposed to read in the ballot. But it does change the idea from it being the majority of the voters to just the majority of the government to be able to prohibit or allow cannabis. So a bit of a double-edged sword, you know. I mean, at one aspect, if you have people who are trying to allow it, the government might be able to get it implemented quickly. On the other aspect, I mean, these bills came about by the citizens. So I think that's important that we sort of stick with that and keep the actual intent of what we voted for rather than chisel away at these laws and turn it over to the government.
I would be willing to bet 70% of people would be shocked to hear that that's even a possibility that our government can do.
Yeah.
Directly take away our voting rights and replace it with their own. Like, They don't know any better. We're just going to stop the vote and we get to decide from now on. That doesn't sound very cool to me.
Not at all. And, you know, I hate to say it, but for the party of small government, it sure does seem like they're trying to get the government involved in every aspect of this. And seems to be that they're always putting the cart before the horse, getting things sort of in the way of themselves. And, you know, I don't know what the solution to it is, but I hope soon they will stop because it's just a whiplash effect on the market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got way too much uncertainty. So, I mean, that's it for the most part when it comes to the Montana legislative session. I think those are the bills we're going to have to watch out for. We also have Senate Bill 74. There's some changes that go on in there that we're going to have to pay attention to. But overall, Senate Bill 27 has passed and it's gone to the other chamber. Looks like it's passing resoundingly there. So it's probably going to be heading to the governor's desk. So the moratorium is definitely coming to Montana. We're going to see that bill. And so they're going to freeze licenses as they are. We'll see whether or not they freeze the ability to move your location, but it seems like Montana's going to get the glass dome put over top of it.
Boom.
Wow.
The Simpsons.
Yeah, that's
Can
a
I
great.
add my 2 cents to that?
Yeah, please.
Absolutely,
do.
please do.
Please do.
Well, because I do a lot of singing and speaking, I don't do a lot of smoking. Of course, if somebody passes me a joint, I'm not going to say no. But most of the time, I rely on my liquid and my gummies and my beverages. And, I do have my stash of joints too. But I was looking at my bottle here. This is a Head and Heel. We can only have the ones in New York State. And
Right.
this is 1,000 milligrams per bottle, 38 milligrams, no, 23 milligrams per dropper full. And my gummy is 500 milligrams per bag. There's 10 in a bag. That's 50 milligrams per gummy.
Yeah.
And
hear
I think it would be
great stories
total
all the time.
anarchy
Oh.
if they limited you to 5 or 10%. That's the milligrams. That would be awful.
That House Bill 443 that was limiting THC to 15% was across the board. That would be your flour, your edibles per package. That would have been your concentrates per package.
They were
And
really
we're
trying
limited
pass
to
some
like a
weird
half
stuff.
gram on carts. So you're looking at 15 milligrams per half gram on your cart even. So it's just like, what?
Wow.
Montana, wake up. Wake up.
Bag. you want to have to eat a whole bag or drink a whole 6-pack.
That's about where we're at. It's kind of upsetting. Our highest single dose,
Yeah.
quote unquote. I mean, no one's gonna split up a caramel that's 60 milligrams.
No, not at all. And the
We
thing about
are.
it is with the availability of people getting things mailed in from everywhere, with so many states having legalization around us that don't have these limits, and with the availability of so many people being able to grow it, themselves, you got the black market, so much stuff to deal with. I mean, most of these bills are counterintuitive. They think they're saving somebody from a potential overdose or anything else like that. My position will always be education. If you educate people that if they're having way too much THC, getting green sick, maybe take a dropper of CBD to counteract it.
And next time, don't take quite so much.
Right. And never
THC.
time don't take so much. Then
That's all.
those things will really help. But like we heard in testimony from somebody who was actually a proponent for limiting THC, they were upset that if kids got accidentally dosed in school, the school no longer actually even calls the ambulance for them anymore. They just call their parents to take them home because they really realize that there is no risk of overdose. To me, I think that's a great thing that we've come to that realization. Yet, some people will use that as a cudgel to beat us up.
Yeah.
So
It's all
Yeah.
about framing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So getting out there, looking at some of the national news, I know that we were talking about a little bit earlier. It looks like the Safe Banking Act 2.0 is going to be rearing its head back up, hopefully get reintroduced and everything charged up with that soon. But the other one that we're paying a close attention to that is really important is the States Act. And this is one that was introduced last legislative session, federally introduced again, and it allows the states to determine what they want to do with cannabis and pretty much takes the federal government's hands off of all of it. So it wouldn't even be scheduled or anything like that. If the states decide to allow it to be legalized, then it's whatever the states do. With the current administration, how they've treated a lot of the other issues that we've seen, it seems like there's a lot of support for this, and hopefully we'll get that passed and get it signed into law. But always an uphill battle for that.
Oh, yeah.
Can I say something on that?
Yes,
Please
ma'am.
do.
Please do.
I have had the worst time with WooCommerce and Stripe. I don't sell cannabis. I don't promote its use. I promote doing good websites for the cannabis industry. And yet I cannot get a payment system on my website other than PayPal because it has something to do with cannabis.
Yeah.
And it's sad because I said, listen, I said, it'd be one thing if I was a dispensary and I was selling cannabis, but that's not the case. I am not. I am just helping these dispensaries put together, bold websites to help their product. That's it. And yet I have been fighting back and forth, with the banking industry to get a payment system for my clients to pay me. But PayPal is still on my side. They're still helping me out by accepting, the payments for that, because they realize that the others are just being a bunch of jerks. But, that's how it is. You just deal with what you can and go where you can.
I think that aligns with the experience that I've heard recently as well, is that even if you have a business that did windows for a dispensary one time, sometimes they'll find that connection.
Isn't that awful?
They will shut you down if you've ever even looked at a dispensary. It's almost like they're trying to make excuses to shut down accounts, which is crazy.
Well, and then, you have that whiplash effect that happens. Like, Hannah knows firsthand, being from the banking world, Valley Federal Credit Union, they shut down all kinds of people's accounts. They were like, no way, get out of here. We're done with you,
cannabis.
It was
for
a
cannabis or
huge thing.
cannabis related stuff.
It was a huge thing. We couldn't have it. Being a credit union, you're still federally regulated, even though Valley switched to being a state charter. I still love you, Valley. You're great. This is not a dog on anything. It's just what we had to do as a company at the time. They couldn't hold any accounts that were even associated, because we would have been shut down as an institution.
So it's that pressure from
up
above.
It's everywhere.
Definitely. And now today, they're actually talking about and thinking about and trying to actively get into cannabis banking. So, and we've got that from quite a few banks around Montana. All of a sudden, they have a strong interest in trying to get there. And I know that, was it Mr. Diamond from JP Morgan Chase said that if cannabis ever becomes legal, his bank, which is one of the largest banks in the world, would go ahead and deal with some of them cannabis customers.
Absolutely.
Isn't
that was
that-
pretty recent.
Isn't that a big testament? Like, thanks, federal government. Even one of the biggest financial institutions is right on board the second that vote hits yes.
Definitely.
Wake up.
It's long past time.
Joint.
Oh my gosh, yes. Pass the peace
Pass the
pipe.
joint and pass the bill.
Mhm.
Moly, it's ridiculous.
Wow.
Such an archaic country we're living in.
The thing about it is they often talk shit about lazy stoners. But I want to tell you, us lazy stoners have managed to build, entire industries, entire forms of commerce. We've got people out there doing search engine, optimization and writing books and teaching people how to build websites. We have, accountants, lawyers, everybody else like that. That has done this for well over 20 years here in Montana now.
Right.
And you have the federal government who can't even pass a safe banking bill or anything within the same time period. Who's the damn lazy stoner now, peeps?
Yeah, for real.
And the funny thing is that the senior population is one of the fastest growing cannabis consumers in the country.
Well, and that's the one thing I got to tell Greg Hertz and everybody else with this bill to cut down the edibles. You're going to find a bunch of grandmas that are going to kick in your door for taking away their gummies, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of grandpas out there on a tractor chewing on a candy bar who's going to be pissed.
Pain creams.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's
I can't
something.
stop.
No, I didn't even think about the pain creams and stuff.
I can't stop using mine.
Well, I was gonna say I can't stop some of those older folks with arthritis and stuff for buying that pain cream.
Yeah.
They'd love it.
And it's well
I'll
worth
tell you
it.
something. I brought in a whole bunch of little tiny Dixie cups to my bone builders class, and I think we had 10 women there that night or that morning, and I split up one of my cans of cannabis and gave them each some to drink, and 2 of them now regularly go to dispensaries to purchase it themselves. The others said that they had not slept so well in a long time. And I imagine it must have been a nap at lunchtime because our class is in the morning, but that's
That's been a great after lunch
That
coma.
happens sometimes. That happens.
anything with CBD or THC in it has been proven to be a muscle regenerative power in it, that it helps build back the muscle tissue that you might have stretched too much and helps relieve the pain. And, you know, for them to take it away or to minimize the amount, that's criminal.
Yeah,
You heard it here, folks. It's
They have
criminal.
all
Criminal.
kinds of crazy ideas. I'll cut you another one that they passed. They actually got this one passed. They limited the size that our carts can be from one. You can still buy the same amount, just for the record. Like you can buy 8 carts now instead of 4, but they limited the amount of a cart can have from 1 gram to 0.5 grams. So now when customers come in, they're like, "Hi, can I get 16 half-gram carts, please?" And it's just like, okay, sure. So you hand a huge pile of plastic
Packaging and
and
waste.
disposable carts, and it's just like, why are we doing this? That didn't even change anything.
Or the larger carts that are just 0.9 grams instead of the full
Right,
gram. Like, what are
yes.
you stopping?
Right.
You
Yep.
can still buy the same amount. You're just adding waste.
Well, and now they're like diluting them down like crazy. I saw someplace locally, they had like 16, 17, 18% terps. And, you know, their THC and everything was under 50. So they were making 2 gram carts, you know, so that they could get it out there. And I'm just like, man, what are you really smoking on there? I mean,
Right.
pure
Holy.
terp sauce.
Flavonoids.
Right,
Anyway.
right.
I could complain about their decision making all night, so I'll leave it there. But I don't like they don't seem to actually understand the things that they're trying to legislate. And I know that there's hearings and stuff, but those don't appear to be working the way they were intended.
No, you know, and I mean, we were not only did we sit and watch a lot of the hearings that were going on and stuff like that as a crew, I was able to testify there with the legislature. Told you guys a lot of the experience I also saw with some of the other testimony on some of the other bills, especially 307. Them just limiting even the I believe she was a brigadier general from the VA. To only 1 minute of speech and basically cut her off like before she was able to completely finish up, you know, which she was professional about it, cut herself off as well. But, you know, I just think that overall, when you have people of that caliber coming to testify to your committee, you might want to give them an extra, you know, 30 seconds, maybe a minute, maybe 10 minutes and, you know, abide some time. But they also limited the opponents for the time that they could speak, you know, so there was only 1 minute to introduce yourself, spell your name, give your address, you know, tell them what your email address is, blah, 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 your phone number, you know, tell them who you dated, you know, in high school first, and then let them know whether you want to oppose or, you know, have them pass the bill, which I mean, it's you might as well just say, hey, why don't you guys just shut up and say yes or no? I mean, and that's sort of what it feels like anymore. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, you know, you had the proponents for the bill. They were up there, they were able to speak their piece, able to do some things. And then it seemed like the committee chair was calling a lot on them for their questions as far as informational witnesses, which, overall, it got tabled, but, you know, you can sort of see, like you were talking about, the way that just doesn't seem right anymore.
Bit distasteful.
Yeah. Well, we had a legislator quit, too. I mean, did you guys see that? I mean,
what?
Dude from Ravalli County done quit. He was like, I'm out of here. He was like, you know what?
Even at the state level.
The lobbyists are running this place. It is a pure swamp, and I will not participate anymore. So he took his ball and he went home.
You know, good
that
for
just
you.
happened in Montana, guys. If that's happening at the state level, you can only imagine what's going on at the federal level. I hate to be the like, but I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah.
When your own senator quits his job, resigns, and says, you know what, this isn't worth my honor. I'm gonna die soon. I have to live with myself, and I can't do it by working this job.
Right.
That's messed up.
And, you know, it's time to get some ethics back into our politics. You know, I mean, politics should not be a damn team sport. I mean, it shouldn't be the Bloods and the Crips mentality that we have today. It should be about policies that are good for us as a society and us as a people. And beyond that, you know, we really should take all the emotion and other shit out of it. And hopefully, you know, we can try to limit some of this lobbying influence. But I don't know exactly how you're going to do that.
Golly, they've divided us in this industry for 20 plus years now.
Definitely
They've really done some good work here.
And Kumbaya.
Well, to finish up a couple of quick bits of news, we got to touch on our home state of our guest here, New York, New York. So we got some wild, crazy situations going on over there. It seems like the state is expecting cannabis stores to expand like crazy. They're expected to go from 275 dispensaries to over 625 dispensaries this year alone. Which, I mean, that is a flood into the market. That's going to be a lot of competition all at once banking out there. And one of the other problems that they have out there that they're dealing with is they just shut down over 207 illegal dispensaries. And it seems like every time they shut one down, two more pop up. Right. So, the black market is in full swing over there, definitely in full force. And with that many stores coming on board, I don't know how they're going to do it, especially when it seems like a lot of the licensed growers are struggling big time. Most of them are actually reporting that they're operating at a loss in New York. A lot of that has to do with high cost supply chain issues and competing with illegal sales primarily. Yeah. But also access to capital. Most of them don't have regular access to capital, banking, and the normal stuff that a lot of other businesses do. So it's hard for them to absorb any kind of loss like this. Right. And we're also seeing that in Montana. We're seeing that across the nation. And I hope the government gets it together quick.
Can I elaborate on that?
Absolutely, please. Yes.
Do.
One of the problems was when they first started issuing licenses, we had a lot of registered organizations that were coming in and wanted to start their businesses in New York right away. And they hadn't even issued 100 licenses at this point. And they put a kibosh on the whole thing. They just shut everybody down and stopped issuing licenses for a long time. And now that And during that time, all the growers were sitting there with their, crop ready to sell, and have it produced and sent out to the dispensaries that were supposed to be there that all of a sudden weren't there. And, one dispensary only needs so much inventory and the rest of it was just sitting there molding and rot away. It put them in the hole. Definitely. And it also folded a lot of those small farms, which was really sad because they stepped into this industry with good intentions and lost their whole crop and, just didn't get anywhere with it, which is not the way they meant it to happen. But when they finally did get starting to issue the licenses again, there was still a lot of mix up and they're still battling with that. But now that they're trying to get these licenses out, one of the problems, like you were saying, is the financial part of it. One of the dispensaries that I was working with in in Queens, they were paying $40,000 a month for rent, for construction costs that they had spent, for the inventory that they had purchased, for all the insurances and everything. They were all set to open their doors. And they wouldn't issue their license for almost 8 months. Yeah. So they were mortgaged to the hilt. They had borrowed from everybody they could. They did manage to stay open and get their license and get their doors open. Damn. But it was a terrible hurt on them. And they're going to be working in the hole for quite a while. And that's just a shame because, they gear everybody up and they get everybody ready to open and then they don't issue the license. Yeah. And then you're standing there holding yourself saying, now what am I supposed to do?
We feel that pain 100%. Here in Montana, we deal with those same issues quite a bit. And within our own business, we've had to deal with that. Adding new dispensaries or anything like that comes with, quite a bit of a wait trying to get your inspections done, everything else like that. So, like most people don't realize that you don't just get to go out, walk into a store, open up the store, throw your license up and get to selling. You've got to go through a long list of inspections, everything else like that, which typically take anywhere from, 3 to 6 months. So like you were pointing out, Cynthia, you're going to be paying your lease payments or, your mortgage payments or whatever you have for that amount of time before you can even open the door and start selling anything to anybody. And that's a pretty big holding cost for sure. Yes. I don't think any other business has to really deal with that.
No, they don't. And unfortunately, they're very limited on the amount of people that they have going through these different dispensaries and getting them their licenses and getting their inspections all done. But meanwhile, those bills have got to get paid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yep.
Well, it looks like we got a pretty active commenter on YouTube. You know, we'd love to talk with you more. Seriously, why don't you go ahead and email us at 406budcastcorporate@gmail.com. I think you might be surprised at the kind of services we can offer you over there, grinding to retire.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
We have a whole lot of information that we can definitely share. We've got a great team of people here who have a vast amount of knowledge when it comes to running cannabis businesses and all kinds of other stuff that we can do for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Please reach out. And that goes for anyone in the chat before or after the show. If you guys have ideas, if you guys have content that you want us to cover, absolutely anything. You want to do business with us. We have a lot of different avenues that you can do that. That goes beyond just the typical podcasting stuff. We can do all kinds of things. And we have a large network at this point. Wonderful people like Cynthia, who we know just about anyone who can do just about anything.
Absolutely. We'll be happy to send you their direction as well.
Absolutely.
100%.
Well,
Holy moly.
I think we've hit our hour.
Dang,
I
yo.
was just gonna say if we have any more news, we've definitely hit our hour.
Nope, I'm definitely done with the news. You know, I think
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
so much, Cynthia,
Cynthia.
for stopping. And
Thank
please,
you.
do you have a moment? The stage is yours.
Well, I just want to thank my team that work with me. Alaya, Holly, you'll meet her next week. Jackie and Jill, they're all terrific writers and all terrific business people in their own right. And you'll find out about Holly next week. And
we're
if
looking
you
forward to that.
have any of your viewers or listeners that are in need of some website assistance, and send them my way, bestcopynow.com. I'll be happy to talk to you.
awesome. Cynthia, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes,
Yep,
thank
thank you
for
again.
having you, chatting with you.
Make sure everyone out there like, follow, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful Friday night. Smoke some weed.
Smoke some.
And that
Or
is all.
drink your
Stay
Drink
lit.
them.
Or drink it, eat it, whatever you think. is
Infused
best.
butter it.
Mm.
whatever you're having.